Hello everyone, and welcome to a ending video for 35mm. I want to say this game is absolutely amazing, and it captivated me so much that I decided I wanted to show off the other two endings. I found out how to do them, and just like I did with Pathologic 2, I'm going to be doing a video, as you're seeing here, for the other two endings for 35mm. Now, I was wondering just how it was that you get the other two endings, because as I was going through, I didn't see anything that was really all that much different in the way of choices I could have made. I don't know, like I was thinking, or maybe if I didn't give the med kit to my friend when he'd been shot, or I don't know, maybe if I'd fired back at the guys, or maybe not killed people, not done the whole thing of axing the grandma. That might have had an effect. Turns out, in a way, I was right. What actually affects the endings is your fortitude, as the game calls it. And as you saw me going through with the streams, when you do certain actions, like usually interacting with a certain thing or doing a certain thing, your screen will flash white briefly. And that is the indication you have gained a fortitude point. You need a certain number of fortitude points in order to trigger the certain endings. So one ending is for having less than, I believe the guide said, less than 19 morale points, which is the ending that you're going to be seeing first. The second ending, which is the one that I got, is when you have between 19 and 23 morale points, which is the one I did on stream. You all saw how it ended. The other ending, the one that says, reach the end with a partner. I was like, what? How? I didn't get how. To be fair, it wasn't until the ending of the I did on stream that I realised that he's not dead. But no, you need to have 24 or more morale points, I believe, to get the final ending. So what you're about to see now is I suppose you're about to see the bad ending, because I realised that if you load up certain checkpoints, I loaded up the last checkpoint just to see, and it said I had 16 morale points. I think I could just go and do the bad ending then. And so what I did was I just basically loaded up the last achievement, ran out from the metro station towards the the thing leading up to your house. I don't have anything else. I don't think you need anything else. I think you just need to go up there and it will trigger. I don't know what it is, but that's what we're about to find out. So without any further ado, ado? I don't actually know how to use. I think it's ado. Yeah, because ado is goodbye in another language. Yes, let's get straight into things. So this, the two endings will be done on separate days, as they were for Pathologic 2, because I'm not going to just sit and do the entire game again, because you need a full playthrough to pretty much get as many morale points as possible, and that's tricky. So what this one is going to be is I'm going to do this. This is the same day as when I finished it on stream. Same evening, I probably should say. But yeah, so we're going to go do that one, and then there won't be any pause or difference for you. There'll be a couple of days for me where I'm going and getting the final ending. It won't take long because the game's fairly short. It's short, but it's really good. But yeah, let's jump in. So as you can see, here at the title screen, continue. And we are here. See, that's the house. There's the rest of the city. Literally, I've just run from the subway station to here. So we're going to see what happens. Because I believe it's like somewhere around the vicinity is when it starts. If it does, then awesome. If it doesn't, well, you're not going to see this. Oh, well, we got something. Well, at least this achievement started. Okay, so in the previous ending, oh, I think I'm going. That thing I said it was a trap in the street, in the stream. Oh, I said this was a trap. This is so a trap. Oh. Yeah, that was a trap. Oh. Oh, well then. Well, I'm about to die, I think. Okay, so what I've done here is I realize that I need the lockpicks. So what I've done is I have gotten stabbed. I reloaded the game. I got stabbed, but I found the other battery first. I've just found that second battery, so now I'm going to give them to the other guy. I've already given him one. Get the lockpicks, go into the room. Oh, I've got to see the lockpicking minigame again. Oh, it's not fun. But I'm going to do that, and then that will hopefully trigger the ending, because I was running around quite a bit, and it's about a good 6 minutes or so that you didn't see of me just running around the place and deciding, hang on a second, if I just reload the chapter, I will be able to, you know, go back in. Hopefully the batteries will spawn in different places, and I can go and grab them before getting stabbed, so I'm not dealing with the ragged breathing every single time. And now, seeing, you know, I've done that before after getting stabbed, that no longer interferes with the ending, even though I'm below the threshold of morale points anyway for the ending that you saw on stream. So I don't know how many morale points I actually had on stream, off the top of my head. I think I had around about 20. I might have actually just been just below the threshold for the best achievement. And if so, like, part of me thinks I had 23, which means if I had done the save thing, I would have gotten the best ending. I found the method of doing it. That white line across, you need to push up until the orange line of the lock of the tumbler lines up with that. Then that's when you lock it in and press it. Here's all I have left. Grab the keys. Open the lock. In I go. And photo album. Now this, I believe, should be the full ending. I mean, you know, I've been stabbed. Unless I've screwed up by getting the photo album. Like, I might have had, you know, had to just go to the table and, you know, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Well, it's definitely showing that I have been stabbed, because now there's blood on the photo album from where I've been, you know, holding my gut wound. My friend's still alive. Are we going to get the same flashback though? Yeah, this seems to be the same business, you know, as earlier. So, yeah. It might be just the bit that's after this is the only thing that actually gets changed in the endings. That's still really heartbreaking. It's different. That's a lot of blood. That is a lot of blood. I mean, to be fair, it's a gut wound. It's... Oh, there's that one done. And it starts raining. That's a nice little touch. Wow. Let's roll. And that's where it ends. So yeah, that was the bad ending. Quite clearly a bad ending. And really all that changed was his bad judgment. He fell for the trick. He fell for the trick and paid the price. So yeah, so basically, you know, he died in that. Which means that really, honestly, the ending that I got is, unless, well, I can't imagine that the other one that is there is going to be, you know, less explanatory than that. But it does mean, you know, the ending I got was technically the one with the most unanswered questions, or most unanswered things, because it's the whole, you know, okay, what now? Well, he's still alive, he's still fine. It's just, you know, he's got all these memories and he's got all this stuff here. It's the end of his journey, but what now? Whereas that one, you know, that's definitely an end to the journey. You can only imagine there's going to be something in the true ending we'll find out about. But that is going to be coming up in a few seconds for you, a few days for me. Because I've got another stream to prepare for, so I'm not going to have the time to go through the entire game again and get all as many Fortitude points as possible. But thank you for watching so far. I'm very sorry about how it jumped earlier in the video. That was literally because I had to do an editing job. Had to basically snip my reaction to, you know, being stabbed, because I had no idea that was going to happen. And when, you know, when it first freshly hit me, then I was scouring the place afterwards trying to find those batteries. So the cuts that you will have experienced will be maybe a little bit jarring, a little bit janky, but it was for the best, because you don't want to see me hunting around with batteries badly. Because basically what happened is the one that was in the green building next to the corpse wasn't there when I looked at after I got stabbed. So I was trying to hurry around thinking of all the different places it could be, with the ragged breathing in my ear, and it's like, no. If it's, and then I thought, you know, if reloading the game had changed where it was that time, then maybe reloading it again would put it back. So I reloaded again, went there immediately, it was there, couldn't pick it up. It turns out you do actually have to go to the guy who's trying to open the door. You have to see him open the door before the batteries become pick-upable. So I did that, went back, grabbed that battery, and then went and got stabbed. Ran in, grabbed the second battery. Well, you saw. So basically, yeah. So I will see you shortly. Well, it'll see me in a little bit. Hello, everyone. So this is not the ending. However, I have said a few times in streams since starting this thing, that I found a piece of information which kind of blew open the story and gave a lot more detail behind it. My intention originally was to start off the true ending part of it with telling you what I'd found, but then I realised, because I was having to do a full playthrough anyway, I might as well show you. So this is at that point. As you can see, my checkpoint is Bor. If you remember, Bor was the large building that was converted into a hospital. Really, really creepy, full of traps all over the place. So what the issue with this bit is it's kind of out of the way. So if you recall, there's the bit around the... just after you get into the first big building, you go up a couple flights of stairs, and then you need to find something to cut the rope with on the door, which you use a knife. Now, what you may have also seen in the stream was that I found a battery. I thought it was a collectible at the point, didn't actually understand what the use of it was for. However, that battery has a purpose, and it's one of the 3 places it can spawn in. Thankfully, this time around, it was one of the second places. It was the second of the 3 places it could spawn. So it was good. But what happens is, after you cut through that door and your friend sees the Jeep coming and tells you to get down, you then go into the next room, and there's staircases to the right, which is your progression point, and to the left there's a hallway. Now, when I streamed it, I quite rightly thought I was being chased and pursued, so I beelined it for that staircase, for the progression. What you actually need to do for this, if you go down the corridor, there is a trap there, go right down to the very end of it. On the right is a room that is lit with red. In there is a projector. You put the battery in the projector, you just interact with it whilst in your inventory. No, nothing like that. And it will show you numbers on the wall. What you then do is you go all the way back, well, not all the way back, you go back to the place with the stairs. That's loud, very sorry, because by settings, I'll just check that to be a bit quieter, because now I don't have to struggle to be heard. Sorry about that. Go back to the place with all the stairs where you had to cut the door. You go up to the top level, and in one of the rooms up there, there is a safe. Those numbers is the safe combination, or are the safe combination. That set of numbers, yeah, that set of numbers is the safe combination. That sounds way better. You open that. Inside is a note, and the note is what I've found. So here we are. There's the safe. It's opened. Inside, 2 medikits, a pistol clip, and this note. Protocol. December 17th, 2012, the world's first case of viral hemorrhagic fever was reported. Previously unknown to the medical community, detailed studies have shown that the virus is probably the mutated strains of the Ebola kind. For the ruling elite, these events were not unexpected, since they were the ones who ordered the creation of new artificial strains. After a long test, their campaign began, during which the infected vaccination was carried out in local areas in the southeast of the world. The original purpose of all this was to control population numbers in third world countries, but later the representatives of coalitions realized that the mass public hysteria and panic caused by the epidemic is a great pretext to establish their order and to bring troops into the areas that are rich in useful resources with their further occupation. June 21st, 2013. I didn't actually realise there were 2 pages of this. I only read the first page. I did not see that there was more. Still, 2013. Leading countries have organised large-scale transport of troops and medical personnel to West Africa, Indonesia, Iran, India, and Iraq. This made it possible to declare a strict quarantine in order to take control over vast territories, with restriction on freedoms, rights of movement, etc. By the end of 2013, the infection began to spread beyond the quarantine zones. Since the original target of the virus were people of southeastern countries, it took the virus some time to adapt to other carriers. In the spring of 2014, the situation got out of control and numerous hotbeds of infection, fever, flared up all over the world. Medical and military forces did not have time to respond adequately to the sprawling threat. Eventually, infrastructures began to break down. Many cities stopped the supply of electricity and other resources. The police, hospitals, and rescue services were unable to fully carry out their functions. Food supplies decreased significantly. By the end of 2014, the number of infected people has reached about 3 billion. Given the speed of propagation of the virus, this number will increase to 4.5 billion to the middle of 2015. So there you have it. One of my big questions was, what is this, this virus? Is it, were they doing it, sort of like it's a unknown virus and just, having it that, doing the whole world wipe thing, or was there going to be something more behind it? I honestly, when I finished it on stream, I was like, okay, that question's been left unanswered. I'm not too bothered about that. When it comes to apocalypse scenarios, I don't always need much detail behind it, like, you know, things like Fallout and that. Fallout's a nice one to typicize, because the very first Fallout tells you why the war happened. All the following Fallouts just tell you it happened, bombs dropped, nukes happened, world is as it is now. So I played Fallout 1 first, so I saw all that background and I really enjoyed it because of that, because I understood where it came from. Fallout, so the other Fallouts, though, because that context was lacking, it didn't feel like it was, you know, lacking all that much because of it. Same with this. It was still fun without knowing the context, but now I do know the context behind it. It's a lot better. So sorry for the slightly janky interlude where there wasn't one planned to be one, because I know I said in the last section of the video, the next thing you'll see will be me doing the true ending. The next thing you will see now is the true ending. Coming in a few seconds, so see you in just a sec. I might actually be doing it this same run because I am not tired. See you in a sec. Hello, well, here it is. I am pretty much where I believe the final ending to start off. I'm in the same place as I was for the first of the endings videos I did. Just before that, place where it was an obvious trap, where on stream I just walked past, and on here I got stabbed. I don't believe I need to hunt around for the batteries, because I did the thing where I opened so the safe that was there in the playthrough I couldn't find out how to get into. Got into it. I found where the combination was. Inside there is what I believe is a lockpick set. So I don't believe I need to do the batteries because I've already got the lockpick set. If I do need to do the batteries, then I'm going to cut and splice this video so that you don't see me having to hunt around for the batteries, because I actually haven't found one yet. So two things to note. One, my Fortitude level. So when I did this first time round, I had a Fortitude level around about 19, I think, maybe 20-ish, around that then. That's why I got the middle of the road ending and not the bad ending, but also not the true ending. This ending, my Fortitude is 50. I am not kidding you on that. Now, what it seems to be, now the biggest difference, this is, you know, point 2, the biggest difference is that after the statue sequence, that still happens, by the way, it wasn't as bad. I think it's because I knew more what I was doing, and it didn't seem to take me as much ammo. I think I was, you know, making sure my shots counted a lot more. Don't know. But yeah, I got through that. The big thing that changes after that is you get woken up by your friend. He's, you know, made there, and he said, you know, oh, hey, Petrovich, you run fast. I bet he calls up to you. And he looks at your wounds and says, oh, they really got you. They'll heal. Come on. And he helps you up, and you go into the city. And when you're in the city, he is following you. Rather than, you know, him doing a slow walk and you walking alongside him, you move, he follows. Until you go into a building, which I think is a really good bit of AI, actually. A good bit of game design, because you can't push past him. So him getting stuck in a doorway would pretty much soft lock you. So whenever you go into a building or anything like that, he stays outside. Which, pretty good bit of game design. Really good. Really like that. Oh, and also, side thing. Earlier, when I said that when I gave the location, so yes, all the location was right. What I was wrong about was one of the events. So that walkway you go across after you cut the tie, the rope holding it together, that is not the walkway I was thinking of. The walkway I was thinking of, where he says, "Get down, don't be seen," that comes after going up the progression steps. So that was a complete misremembering on my part. It is not out of progression order to go and get the secret that I showed you. That's bad. That was my bad. That was on me. That was me thinking it's an obscure secret because it felt like you were rushing through. You're not, because when that sequence happens, when you go over the thing and he sees the Jeep, you pretty much get shoved into the next area where you're finding the power source for the elevator. So it's not out of sequence. It really was me just, for some weird reason, as much as I like in exploring, I think I was keeping too much of a clinging thing onto him. But either way, that is besides the point. I'm about to jump in. We're about to hopefully see the true ending. It is just before the alleyway scene, so all this is now new to me. This is now completely new to me as it was before. I was using a guide to actually find the morale points because, good God, some of them were elusive. My theory is you need a certain number of morale points before this point, or maybe there's got to be a point during the game where you have got to have the majority of the morale points, otherwise he won't catch up with you, and therefore you can't get the true ending. There are 2 morale points that I have also gotten in the city, but I honestly think if you haven't got enough morale points by the time you reach the city, you don't get that cutscene of him showing up and helping you. That takes you out of the final ending, because the one thing I have seen is the trophy description before you've unlocked anything. He says, reach the end with a friend or with a partner. And that's that guy. So I'm thinking if you don't get enough of the morale points or fortitude points before the statue sequence, or actually to be fair, before the wolf sequence, that's your cutoff. If you haven't got the morale points by then, you can't. It doesn't matter what you do afterwards, you're locked out to the true ending. And also because the way the game is done, yeah, I'll do. What I have found out though is, well, actually I don't know how you do it. I deleted my save and went from the very beginning again for this because chapter select was being a bit weird for me. But anyway, let's jump in and see what the true ending is like. Enjoy. I kept the sound settings from last one. Okay, so here we are. Our friend is here. Looking no worse for the wear. I mean, I can't tell if that's just part of his jacket or he's no longer got his bandage. But, yeah, I seem to be doing alright. So we'll see what happens here, because this is around about... Okay, so here's the cutscene with the other person going for help. He's there, so the cutscenes are really immediately different already. Ah! He says don't. So from what I can tell from this and the previous cutscene where he rescues you, is the cutscene plays out the exact same way as on the stream. It's just he's there and interacting with you, but otherwise everything else is the same. So that was the same. Like my actions and all that kind of stuff with him, that was all the same. So now what hopefully we're going to do is go here. Oh, my hometown. Hopefully going to do here and find this. Although I've not been here for a long time, in my memory everything's just clear and vivid. I'm not reading. I've read that bit out again, but I didn't read the thing. Is he coming in with me? Okay, this is already different from the previous things. He is, and that I did not clock on the first time round. That's creepy as all fuck. As are some of the anomalies in this game. So what I also, fun fact, found out that I missed. There are anomalies in this game. And I had not found all of them. I'd missed most of them. Oh, well, so... Here is all I have left. So this is still the same at the moment. Still exactly the same. Okay, what does it say? That's the same. See, as you can see in the bottom right, there, my fortitude is 51. After that now. Keys? Where is my friend? He's standing right there. So here's something that I also realized I had messed up from the original stream. So the original stream, I was confused because that letter made it seem like there was cheating going on, or the real names weren't being said. But what I realised is Petrovich is this guy's surname. So Andrei Petrovich is the main character, and it's only in that letter that you actually see his name as being Andrei, which I think they could have done a bit better just to make sure that letter was definitely from you. But still, slight little thing there. Unlock. Photo album. Here is where it's possibly going to be completely different. Or I've buggered things up by using the photo album, and we will see. If I have buggered it up, you won't be seeing this, because I will do some editing magic. I don't know actually how I'm going to go around doing that, but hopefully I haven't screwed up the ending, and this is actually the true ending. So this is the same as the middle one so far. Difference, he's there. Oh. So whilst I'm looking at the things, he's remembering. Yeah. No speech saying I'm sorry, Petrovich, this time. This is playing out the same as usual. Drunk while driving. Let this lesson: don't drive drunk, and don't drink. Don't drink while you're driving, and don't drive while you're drinking. Ah, there we are. I'm sorry, Petrovich. Partway down there, rather than at the very beginning. What you were looking for. So that's the dialogue that happens in the middle ending as well. It's just told said at a different time. So that picture is now framed rather than it being in my friend's hands. It being in my friend's hands was how the previous endings went. Also heartbreaking in a way because, well, not in a way, it is heartbreaking overall. It's heartbreaking because throughout the entirety of the story, tearful. Throughout all of it, you never actually can tell. Well, there's the trophy for the ending. You also then go platinum. There's platinum. Frame's looking really janky on the video, I think. I don't know whether that's always, whether that's the thing of me trying to record or what, but that's it. So I have to say, in a way, in one small way, that being the only difference is a little bit of a letdown, but also not. So my thoughts on that with the difference in the endings. So the difference between Low Fortitude and any on the other two endings is quite vast. You get the same thing. You get the same revelations. You just what happens depends on how what the difference in the endings is essentially the situation between you and your friend. So in the low fortitude one, you're dead, but your friend is still alive. As far as I recall, yes, he is. In the middle one, your friend is lagging behind, but is still alive. But he has that photo, and you never know, or you have no possibility of knowing. He's gotten you to that city, and that's possibly where he thinks your paths will diverge. In the high fortitude ending, he's with you all the way to the end. Sorry, I was seeing if there was going to be a post-credit sequence or some additional thing for beating it on the true difficulty, which there is not. So yes, okay, in a way that I was slightly disappointed in the fact that there is not a huge amount of difference between the low fortitude, medium fortitude, and high fortitude endings. There was still a bit more of a thing of bad ending, okay ending, and true ending. There was still a feel of that, because it felt a bit more. That one felt more complete, even though there wasn't all that much difference. It was just your friend was there with you, and it does the explosion. But in all three of them, you learn about the accident. You learn what has happened, why Petrovich is alone, and why he was coming back, and why he comes back to an empty house. You learn that. So basically, it's a very difficult thing to do, to try and balance the fact of A, you want to be able to tell the complete story, B, you want to be able to have the different endings actually mean something. It's a very difficult balance to strike. You either go the way that a lot of role-playing games go and a lot of story-based games go, in that your endings will be vastly different. There's also the way that Obsidian and In Exile do theirs, but that's a whole different ballpark. That is so far away from how things are typically done that it doesn't really factor into the thing. Yeah, you get the thing with the different endings, like with Pathologic 2, for example. The different endings in that were all very different, apart from the theatre part at the end. The theatre part at the end basically lets you choose your ending cutscene. That's basically what that one is. The bit between that and the decision that you make on day 11, that is the difference between the endings, and that is what I consider to be a very good way of storytelling. But however, at the same time, it does mean that if people want to experience the full different kinds of way the story branches, it does require more playthroughs, which me personally, I'm not against. I will happily replay a game several times to get the full story out of it. If the story has gripped me, I will replay it several times. I've done it with 35mm this game. I've done it with Pathologic 2. I've done it with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. You get the idea. I've played through storylines and story-based games that have really gripped me multiple times because I like seeing how the different story elements interact. Like I did it with the Outer Worlds as well. I did the Outer Worlds to try and find all the different possible ways of doing things and just see how different things would interact and how there would be different reactions to what you are doing. And it's a big thing. I like the full story. When you get something where someone has clearly put a lot of love into the story, especially like as is very evident with 35mm, it's very good to see the full story. And each of the three endings does tell the ending in a different way, but it is the same ending. And that's the second way of doing it, is you have the same ending, but you tell it in different ways. And that, I think, is what 35mm does. And it's not an easy thing to do. Because you could quite happily play through this game once, regardless of how you play, you still get the full story. You still get that same ending. You still get the ending there. It's just told in a different way based on how you play the game. and how you play the game is literally how much of these fortitude points do you find. And a lot of them, you probably saw me on stream finding them as they came along, just by some exploration. A lot of them were interaction based, like turning on that radio, turning on the military radio, playing the piano, playing the guitar. Weirdly enough, it says in the guide that you need to kill grandma for a fortitude point, but I didn't see a change in my fortitude points for that. And I honestly wasn't keeping track at a certain point, but I saw partway through, like, so also another one with the old man. When I looked around, there's the big shed with the moonshine being made, or the vodka, whatever it is. The game calls it moonshine, but we called it vodka on stream. Behind there was a music box. You open the music box up and listen to it for long enough, you get 2 fortitude points from it. I missed that. There were a couple of other things that I missed as well, as you could tell, because I did get the true ending on stream. Like in the ruined church at the beginning, if you have a lighter on you, which you can get from one of the buildings, you can light the candles next to the altar. You start hearing a Gregorian chant, and you get a fortitude point from that. Most of the other fortitude points I had gotten in some way or another through doing the other trophies and getting the other collectibles. I don't know whether I needed the guide or not actually to get the true ending, but it was a good help anyway, because most of the stuff that I was doing on the guide I had already done. There was a note right at the very beginning, which was very obscure to get. Like, at the very beginning, after you leave the cabin, you turn right when your friend is going forwards. You turn dead right and go up ahead. You will find a building, and Petrovich comments here, I hope no one's home, it looks unfriendly. You go into that building, and there's a note on there saying about them having to leave. There's also in one of the cabinets there's a jar of jam, which gives you an extra little healing thing. Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the way they told the story. I really enjoyed the story itself. This game was clearly made with a huge amount of love to it, and I fully enjoyed it. And I fully recommend it to anyone who wants to play it. I will say though, it is a slow game. It doesn't take long to complete. Like, I rushed through it and got the true ending in under 2 hours, but I knew what I was doing. I wasn't paying attention to any of the cutscenes, story buttons, or anything like that. I was just sprinting through everything and just going for it. If you want the actual experience, it is a slow one. It does feel like it's a walking simulator at times, because you're walking a lot and there's not always a lot happening, but it's very atmospheric and it feels like a horror game. And it does that very well. It has the atmospheric horror, which I adore. I adore atmospheric horror over jump scares and big nasty beasts coming at you. If a game can make me feel tense, on edge, and feeling like something's about to happen through the whole way as that one did, you've got yourself one of my favourite types of horror. That's why I like Silent Hill so much. The original Silent Hill was chock full of that. The cutscenes in it are unskippable, but they don't last all that long for the most part. So replaying it to get the other endings can seem a little tedious, but honestly, once you've gotten through it and gotten the full experience and just gunning for the endings and for maybe the other achievements or seeing what you've missed, it actually goes by pretty quickly, because you've realised all the things you can do. Like, the game will not let you advance before you're ready to. I think I only came across that once, where the game would not let me advance too quickly. And that was before the bear encounter. I was sprinting ahead, and I got to the point where the bear encounter should trigger, and it said I should wait for my mate. I mean, it's called, friend, partner, and mate have all been used. I think it's mostly a translation thing. So you need to wait for him. And as soon as he catches up with you, bam, the cutscene for the bear plays. But for the rest of it, you pretty much can just, sprint ahead and get the things you need, do them, done, boom. No worries. But I would still say, if you're into story-based games and you love a really good story and a really good telling of it and good atmosphere, definitely check this game out. Definitely, it gets a high recommendation from me. But that is sadly the end of my experience with 35mm. I wish there was more of it. I will be keeping an eye on the developer studio to see if they make any more games in future. I will see if I can get my hands on the first game they've made and see if we can get that. I think it's called 7th Sector or Sector 7, something like that. I will look into that and see if I can do some content on that. But this is the end of my stuff 35mm. So thank you all very much for coming along and watching this, for watching the streams, for taking part in the indie review stream that I debuted this with, and for watching this video, and for your interest in the endings. Yeah. Feel free to come along to my Twitch channel and check out my doings on live on stream. You'll get me having misspeakings like that all the time. I do that a lot. I stream almost every single day of the week. The only day I really don't stream is Friday. But yeah, there's also a link to my schedule on my Twitch page, which is also linked down in the comments. Not comments, description. You can tell I don't do YouTube much. And yeah. That will show you when I'll next be streaming and what I do stream, because I stream different things every day. Also, if you are interested in seeing some of the sorts of content that I make without actually wanting to commit to Twitch, which I perfectly understand, feel free to check out anything else that I've done on this channel. This channel is almost exclusively my stream archive. I've got this video, I've got a Pathologic 2 ending video, and the rest of the stuff I've done there has pretty much been one-for-one stream uploads, with me cutting off a tiny little bit of the introduction. But yeah. So again, thank you all very much for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.